you haven't made a conscious effort to move with the times. You're on an interview daily, it seems. Your face is everywhere. You've moved with the times, despite not having a TV. Do you enjoy that, or is it just part of the game that you need to promote yourself and Sprott? Or is there something bigger that you're trying to get over? And I'm harking back to my philanthropic conversation at the beginning, which is because you have these mantras, right? You repeat a lot of mantras, and some people accuse you of repeating them too often. I'm not one of them. What do you feel about this new media world that you exist in, and why are you doing it?
Most of the money that Sprott has spent in the last 10 years in conventional advertising has been wasted. And the money that we've spent in investor outreach and education has enabled us to grow to $17 billion under management. So professionally, I do it because it works. I'm also good at it. That helps. In my declining years, which, by the way, I hope are farther off, teaching and mentoring are increasingly important to me. As an example, I'm replacing myself as a portfolio manager across many of our products, simply because my management style requires, basically 10 years of duration. And at age 67, I can't with a straight face promise 10 years of duration. So mentoring managers is increasingly going to become more important to me than mentoring. With regards to social media, if you look at Sprott with, 200, 220, 230,000 customers and shareholders, there's simply no way to physically engage with all of them, irrespective of my age. But I can do an interview with you, which is viewed by 40,000 people. Some substantial number of them, 400 or 500 of them, will reach out to me. I can learn from them. I can teach them. I can develop relationships with those who I should be developing relationships with. This technological platform coming at this stage in my career, that is the fact that technology has allowed me to more efficiently utilize my experience and my gifts, has been a very pleasant circumstance for me, and one I'm going to push as hard as I can for as long as I can.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the mining industry is slightly backward in many ways compared to other verticals such as technology or retail or FMCG broadly. And I do hope that this period we've been through means that more companies take advantage of it, like you have. I talked about sort of spreadsheet jockeys earlier. They're going to be spreadsheet millionaires. And it's kind of, and I think you touched upon it, it's easy to be blinded by wealth in many ways, and not focus on the numbers in front of you. When you see numbers in front of you which look too good to be true, are they invariably too good to be true? Because you've had a few hit them out of the park moments, but not every day of the week, right?
Mercifully, I would say there have been 25 or 30 circumstances in my life, in the speculative side, where the possible number, not the probable number, but the possible number was extraordinary. And where, as hard as I tried to disabuse myself of my premise, that the data made greed prevail over fear. And in those circumstances, an example would be Lumina Copper. Ross and I visited in the formation of Lumina Copper. I think the copper price was 70 cents a pound. And I remember thinking the incentive price for copper at that point in time was probably $1.50 a pound, which meant that copper could probably go to $2 or $2.25 before the industry could increase supply enough to meet pricing signals. And we were able to buy billions of pounds of copper in the ground that wasn't economic at $1, but would be wildly economic at $2. I had to confront the fact that, despite the fact that I thought that the copper price had to go up, that I wasn't God. I didn't control the fact that the copper price went up, nor could I control the timing in which it did go up. So I had to tolerate failure. But the numbers I had in mind, similar to the Paladin numbers I had in mind in the uranium space, were very, very, very large. And they were handily exceeded. And as I say, as a speculator, I've been lucky enough to have that circumstance. Now, mind you, over 45 years. I've had that happen to me 30 times or so. In the investment business, for the last 30 years, I've been statistically more successful, financially maybe a little less successful. But if a broad resource class where the resource is essential for the well-being of mankind is priced at a substantial discount to the cost of producing the stuff, one of two things happens. Either the price goes up or the stuff runs away, runs out. And being behind that investment thesis, just trying to be in the way of something that has to happen, asking oneself questions where the answer begins with when rather than if, has been extraordinary for me. And it's been extraordinary for me in relatively large numbers.
You're saying, look, if you look at the right numbers, it could be good.
Yeah, Buffett says investing is like a baseball game with no called strikes. And so what you do most of the time is nothing. If the pitcher blows a ball by you, they don't get to call a strike. So what you do is wait with your bat, which is your money and your discipline, and you wait for a slow pitch. But when a slow pitch comes, a fat pitch comes, you got to swing.
Yeah, okay. I get the analogy, despite not being a baseball fan. And again, each one of these questions has brought out or eked out a learning which people should be listening to. And I do talk about these mantras that you have, and they're there. They last for a reason. So you have been lucky in your life. You've had a long career, successful career in a space you enjoy. You like it. You're a hard worker, you said. But you've made some mistakes along the way, and you've picked up these things. And these mantras are stuck with you for a reason. Is that right? I mean, is that why you keep repeating them?
I keep repeating them because they're an extraordinary efficient communications tool. A slogan sticks in somebody's mind and illustrates the point that you're trying to make. When I say the cure for low prices is low prices and the cure for high prices is high prices, people can remember that for a decade, and it saves them trying to remember a 10-minute soliloquy. I give them the 10-minute soliloquy to explain and reinforce the mantra, but mantras are a critical communication tool.